Hello, Sac State students, and welcome back to another State Hornet broadcast.
Today's broadcast starts off with the Lunar New Year paint night on January 31st. Students were invited to the APIDA Center to paint with Pania Jean, a 2011 Sac State graduate of Art Studio.
No one else was. It's so small.
Me?
No, this so short.
I know.
This is made for a person smaller than me.
Jean led 83 students and members of the community to paint a serene, moonlit scene.
The APIDA Center was nice enough to let our multimedia editor Chris Hall take part in painting.
While we wait for Chris to finish up, the State Hornet caught up with event organizers to discuss what it took to put on these.
So this event is our APIDA Center Lunar New Year paint night event. Now in celebration of the Lunar New Year, the APIDA Center will be doing multitudes of events. So I've been here at Sac State working under Sac State for 4 years now, but as the coordinator of the new APIDA Center for a good 7 months. I'm an alumni here. Came in 2014, graduated in fall 2020, now doing my master's program in higher education leadership, and soon to graduate spring 23. We have 80 seats. They were all filled up when RSVPs went out. We had to really squeeze in extra 10 more seats just to make sure 10 more people got in. It shows that, you know, the community is engaged, the community wants more culture on campus.
I'm a biochemistry major.
Okay, do you like it?
It's tough. Here's the thing about that. It's very interesting, but it's a struggle.
Yeah.
It's exciting to see all these great new things happening, but it's a little nervous, especially when it comes to these events. And, you know, it's not just that, but, you know, it's my first time kind of doing this sort of thing. So it's a little nerve-wracking, but at the same time, it's very exciting. And I look forward to all our future events. It feels like a good achievement, you know. It feels like seeing everyone have a good time. I feel that's what makes me happy, and it feels good to help the community as well.
I'm actually a digital artist.
A digital artist.
I'm kind of like stepping out of my comfort zone.
Wow. Yes. Oh, hey, yeah, sorry.
But I've been here as a student, a first-year student in 2005. So I made at Sac State 4 degrees here at Sacramento State. My undergrad was in social science. I also earned my teaching credential, my master's in education, and my doctorate in education policy and leadership studies. 2 years ago, we put together a robust committee of faculty, staff, and community members to really look at what are the needs of our APIDA community here on campus. And from there, springboard the APIDA Center, which will be the second floor of Lassen Hall, over almost 7,000 students. With now a physical center, I think that will serve as a beacon. Students were asking and providing feedback of a sense of belonging. And the sense of belonging for a lot of APIDA students is through culture. So this evening was painting through culture. While I'm the face of it, students are the behind the scene. They contacted the artist, they conceptualized the art piece with the painter. They were part of the setup, they'll be part of the cleanup. And it was very important for me that the work we're doing is grounded in student and student-led.
I was a Sac State student years back. So I graduated 2011 with my BA in Art Studio, and then got my teaching credential also from Sac State in 2014. And I'm currently an elementary art teacher. I am bilingual. So growing up, I think visual art has been really impactful to my learning. I would not have been able to learn so much without, seeing things in visual, right, first. Like, I was a little nervous because, there's so many people, like 80 plus people here. It's amazing to see, the creativity, especially, I gave out just this one, like my vision, right? But when I go around, I notice how many changes they made to it, or like, it looks nothing like what I put up there, right? There's so much room for people, like their imagination to pour out into the work.
One term, and it means like a long meaning to it. sometimes they only write like 4 letters or 4 characters, and it means like a whole paragraph.
All right, guys, it's 2023. Happy Lunar New Year. I'm all done. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. This is mine.
Yay!
It's great to see this. Seeing everyone engage with each other, converse, share stories, and being able to enjoy a time together. Definitely, that's awesome.
That story was brought to you by Chris Hall and multimedia staffers Fernando Navarrete and Lauren Reagan.
The APIDA Center hosted another event opening an art gallery of Hmong fashion and a display of culturally significant textiles that keep records of folklore.
Cloth is Community, threading the needle of past, present, and future, is a mixture of clothes, artifacts, and textiles that were donated by community members, borrowed from private collections and from Sac State's collection.
This next story is brought to you by Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion staffer Jasmine Asensio and entertainment staffer Haley Valdivia, multimedia staffer Michael Pacheco, and multimedia editor Chris Hall.
Project Hmong started in 2019, and as we were thinking, we really wanted to showcase the history of our Hmong people, but not just in a way where it's literal artifacts of history, but we wanted to do it in a special, unique way, and I think ultimately the decision became through textiles.
If you have a good grasp of who you are, that confidence just shines so much more wherever you go. And I hope that this will inspire you to, spark not a decade long that I did, but spark some sort of curiosity within yourself to find and search and find the beauty of our culture.
This story cloth or this Hmong needle will illustrate Hmong life, Hmong history, Hmong culture through centuries. And for example, the baby hat or children's hat, the Hmong children wear very elaborate hat traditionally. And usually Hmong explain that this is to protect Hmong children from evil spirit.
Most importantly, it's a lot about researching and collecting clothing artifacts, and so that means I have to build good relationships with people and asking them if they are fine to share information about what they know about the clothing artifacts, history, and maybe also borrowing artifact pieces if needed. Also contributing some clothing artifacts from my collection as well.
Right behind me here is a very colorful green Hmong skirt. Green Hmong it's more about the dialect of the clan that actually wears this skirt. This is featuring a more modern version using modern fabric, types of sewing and sewing techniques.
The University Archives here at Sac State has its own special collections of Hmong artifacts. It's been amazing because I didn't expect that many donations. It's surprising because the artifacts that they wanted to donate, some of them dated back from 1900s, very old family souvenirs that they wanted to show off. I think it's important here because, well, there's over 1,500 Hmong students here on campus with the high Hmong population here at Sac State. I think it's important to showcase that, hey, these are what Hmong is. Hmong's not really known when it comes to the Asian umbrella. There's still many people are asking, are Hmongs from Mongolia? No, Hmong is a whole separate thing. Hill Tribe Fusion a partnership came to fruition because of just the work they do. I think when you're involved with fashion like that, especially Hmong fashion, you don't forget where you're from.
We are the largest refugees that are Southeast Asian. I ended up doing a fashion show for Hill Tribe Fusion at Sac State's Hmong New Year, and then that's how I found out about the APIDA Center. But I really love the TV screen and how it plays the Hmong history.
So I'm so used to modern Hmong dolls, and modern Hmong dolls are very slim, and as like any other dolls, they're very uniform. So when I saw some of the old modern dolls that were handmade and stick together, it made me laugh, and it looked irregular. So those are one of my favorite pieces that I saw because I never seen a Hmong doll like that, and it made me realize, wow, there's still so many artifacts that I haven't seen as well.
Tyre Nichols' name is known nationwide, but the nation didn't know him like his family or his friends. On the evening of January 30th, friends and family in Sacramento gathered at Regency Skate Park for a candlelit vigil in his memory.
News staffer Justine Chahal and visual staffer Alyssa Branham and multimedia editor Chris Hall report the story.
Yeah, actually. There's one that I keep thinking about is we used to take drives out in the Delta out here. And we'd go down to Clarksburg and wherever there was a river and some fields, and we would go do photography. And I remember one time we were listening to some like Luke Bryan, something stupid. Like it was just, we all loved country, Yeah. And he looked at me and he got this weird look in his eye and I was like, why are you looking at me like that, dude? Like, what the hell? And I'm driving down the road. I'm like, hey, I'm driving, don't start nothing, And he just rolls down the window and then starts climbing out of the car as I'm driving down the Levee Road. I told him, I was like, good Lord, we're going to get arrested out here. And he sat on the edge of the window and he just was laughing and hollering and like having the best time of his life on that Levee Road. I think I was one of his closest female friends. I've seen a lot of faces tonight that I haven't seen in 10 years, so.
How did you feel seeing those faces again?
It was probably the most comforting I've ever had in this situation. Out of this whole situation, it's the most comfort I've had. And it made me realize that I need to see people more often, for sure. I keep saying that he was light because that's how he made you feel. Like he walked in the room and you smiled. He came up to you and hugged you and you smiled. And you seen him call you on the phone and you smiled. And that's what he was. He was light.
Were you guys close when he
moved to Memphis?
Yeah. I went out there to go see him. And I didn't know that was going to be the last time I saw him. Yeah, we were real close. And he's one of those people that if you didn't call him, he's going to call you. And you better answer that damn phone. So he checked in on his sisters and brothers, and there's hundrds of us. So he was a life person. He just enjoyed life. He enjoyed people. He enjoyed the relationships he had with people. He was just happy to be here, He was happy to be alive, happy to know people. He just wanted to be a part of everyone's family because that's who he was.
Reed was a true spirit. He was a good person, good kid. Well-rounded, always happy, smiling all the time, a little goofy, I was his uncle. I'm his uncle. He was just one of them kids to where, you don't find them like that hardly ever. He was kind of like the problem solver. Come on, you guys, it's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? It's cool, man. Just, y'all relax. He was just loving in every way you could possibly be. I just wish, it didn't have to be this way. You just can't do the things that, used to do back in the 70s. Come on now. Times have changed. Get on board. You know what I'm saying? There's love everywhere. And all you have to do is get on board and become a part of it. You know what I mean? We all stuck together. We all bleed the same color.
It doesn't have to be lit, I guess, because it looks like a few of them are going out. It was appalling to see such actions, and I would call it savage barbarity, to be honest. It's an indoctrination. The people want to believe that it's always black people against police, people of color against police. It's not that. It's corrupt law enforcement, it's police brutality, and it's over-policing.
I saw screenshots of it, and I couldn't get them out of my head the minute I saw them, and they haunted me, and I had nightmares, and I just, as somebody who majors in psychology, I know that that's a sign of PTSD setting in, and so I opted out of that because I knew what they did from the moment they did it. I didn't have to see the video. I knew what they did. What we're working for right now is to make Tyre's law, and that is failure to intervene will be a prison sentence. And I think that will help immensely in the fight to create justice in the justice system. I highly respect them, but them protecting people like this will forever keep us in fear. And so Tyre's law is to try to help those who are afraid to speak up. It's to help the good people not have to say anything. The law will say something. As far as the 6 men, 7, 8, 9, 10, however many there keeps coming up with more. I pray for their families, honestly. Everybody's full of hate towards them. I don't really feel anything towards them yet. But for their families, for their children, and for their girlfriends and wives and parents, I'm so sorry. Because so much misery has come from this, and nobody wins this.
Like my grandmother always say, it's better to just calm down, be cool, calm and collective, to live to see another day.
The Black Student Union is hosting a forum on Tuesday, February 7th from 1:30 to 3:30 in the University Union Ballroom for Tyre Nichols that aims to address racial violence in this country.
As we enter week 3 at Sac State, keep an eye on StateHornet.com and our growing social media channels.
This has been the State Hornet broadcast, student news without fear or favor.